Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. Today we're going to be doing another debate. This one is called Should You Tip? So first, make sure you check out our other debate videos. Before that, you should like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and leave us a comment down below of any other videos you want us to make and debates. And let's get straight into it, guys.
Um, I think I just want to start by saying, like, I've never worked in the service industry. I was a librarian for a while and now I'm a consultant, so I've never waited tables or worked at a hotel or done any of that stuff. So my perspective is gonna probably be different, maybe. I'm not sure. We haven't really discussed what we guys think. But yeah, I guess so it's kind of nice because Ellie, Grace, both of you have. So it'd be nice for you to see like different point of views and stuff. But yeah. So my straight up answer is no. I don't think you should have to tip. I think it should be optional. If you want to tip because you feel the person who attended you was really amazing and they deserve something, then go ahead. But if you don't want to, maybe you don't have enough money, maybe the service wasn't good, maybe you just simply just don't want to, then you shouldn't really feel compelled to do that. I know like different countries deal with tipping like really differently. Like for example, Europe tipping, well, at least sort of before anyway, like it's something that people didn't really want. Like they didn't really expect anything. In the US, you kind of pretty much have to, from what I've heard and seen in videos. And there are also standards, like you have to tip a certain amount and all that sort of thing. But yeah, we'll come on to that. But I'm gonna start with the UK because this is like where we're all based in, right?
Yeah.
But also other countries might have the same sort of thing. So tipping here is sort of like completely optional, but it's a popular thing now to have that service charge and add that on. And I honestly don't mind the ch service charge. I'll pay it. I mean, I never really spend so much that I'm like, oh my God, that service charge looks completely scary. In the UK and I guess maybe other countries as well, tipping is optional, but it seems like a popular thing now to do is to add a service charge. And I don't really mind it. I'll pay it. It's nothing ever really big because I don't really end up spending a lot of money. So it's okay. But what I like is that it is optional. You can ask for it to be taken off. Like I've really seen the service charge like written on the bottom of menus and stuff, and it's like optional and all that sort of stuff. And you can just, you can ask for it to be taken off. I mean, there is also the thought of like it being embarrassing, which I get because like, who wants to go out and go, hey, can you remove the service charge? Like, it makes you seem like a absolute horrible person. But yeah, so what is a service charge though? Because like if someone was just say, oh, service charge, I would really just think that was a tip. But from what the government says, they say that this is sort of like the service charge is intended to compensate the restaurant for the cost of employing and training staff and is often distributed among the employees. That's not actually from the government, that's from Taste Card. But I'm sure they got it from government or something, but
Something similar.
But basically, what it's saying is that this money that we're paying is for training and for employing that staff. And I personally don't understand why we have to pay for that. Like, that is part of the service. Like, I mean, pretty much in all of the jobs, there's some sort of training is needed. So, are we going to start paying cashiers at Tesco for their service? Because they're going to need training to work the machines and all that stuff. So, like I personally don't understand that. Like, I don't like the fact that they put that down, like, oh, we're paying for them to be employed and stuff. I like to view tipping and the service charge as sort of like something to show our appreciation, if that makes sense. I don't want to view it as, oh, I'm keeping this person employed. Like that shouldn't be on me. And it sort of feels like the restaurant is sort of cutting, like, they're sort of like escaping from having to pay. And it seems like that at the end of the day, the people that are serving us are ending up with less because they should be getting what they are owed plus what we're willing to give them as well as a sign of gratitude. But yeah, I mean, even then, I will still just pay it because I mean, I I really don't want to go up and go, hey, remove that for me. like, like I have only ever said it once. like I've only ever said no, like I can't, can you please remove it? And that was simply because I didn't have enough money as I was paying with cash. Yes, I was paying by cash, but this was ages ago. I, for some reason, left my credit card, debit card, all of that rubbish at home. And so I only had cash, and I was like, hey, well, I didn't anticipate it being this big. Like, I didn't really order that much. So can you please remove the service charge? It was honestly very embarrassing, but when you have to do it, you got to do it. So, but
Yeah.
yeah. The difference is, though, in the US, it is expected that you have to tip. Like, I remember seeing like a YouTube post and some people saying like it's your duty to tip. And I get it. The wages in the US aren't great, and tips do help people to pay, for their food and for rent and stuff. But it should really be down to the restaurant to pay for your wage, and you shouldn't really be expecting a tip. And, the tip should be sort of seen as sort of like something out of, I don't know how to put it, but it should be seen as something that the customer is willing to give you as like a sign of their gratitude and appreciation for the amazing work that you've done. So basically, I don't think you should have to tip. I think it's a very nice thing to do. Definitely do it if someone's gone out the extra mile or they've just been really friendly and really nice and really helpful. But definitely you should never have to feel like you have to do it. Like that's just wrong. And that's why I really like the whole, I've seen loads of like, those what would you do? What's it? The John can yes, whatever that guy
Oh
is.
yeah.
What would you do?
Yeah, those. Yeah, you've seen those stuff like he's, there's different videos, and I'm pretty sure there was one for tipping, and some people absolutely crazy. But yeah, basically, you shouldn't have to.
I feel like I'm gonna get hated on for saying this, but I'm very on the fence. Obviously, I have worked in hospitality for a very long time. I've had jobs as party hosts. I'm currently a games host, and then I've also worked in a restaurant. Spent a lot of my years in hospitality. It's definitely a bonus and so much like nicer when you do get tipped, and it does just kind of make that shift or like even your week, and that money can go a long way because it's additional, it's not what you're expecting, stuff like that. On my previous job at a sushi restaurant, we did have service charge, so a lot of that, because our wage was minimum wage, that was a lot added up to our paycheck. And while it's not necessarily people's responsibility to be having to pay that, so like I completely get what Emily meant, like it shouldn't be compulsory and stuff like that, because it's not other people's responsibility to pay for the place that's got you hired, if you know what I mean. Like if they're going to do that, then they should be paying you more. But I also understand if it's like a small business like mine was, service charge is solely what they based off paying their employees, pretty much. Like we would get like 200-300 pounds more from that rather than our actual wages. So it's very in the middle. But then I also understand like tipping, like they do in America, is compulsory. It, again, makes up the majority of the wage, but it's not that easy for everyone. Not everyone's in the same boat in the way that they can tip. Tipping, especially service charge, is a certain percentage of your bill, so it can be a lot more expensive. But yes, it can be a lot more expensive, and not everyone is able to pay that. So when it's compulsory, it's really hard and would probably deter a lot of people from having to like go out and have meals with their family or friends, which again in turn would lower wages. It's just kind of like a full circle, I guess. But if you do have the money and you do kind of just have that thought in mind, then please tip your server, your host, whoever, wherever you are, is going to appreciate it more than anything. And it will make their day, week, or month. Like, I think the last time I got tips was like 6 months ago, and still my best day at work. So it does just make people's day and make someone else's life a lot easier if you do have that money to spare.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I am on the fence, but I'm more leaning towards like you don't have to tip if you don't want to, because as a customer, I would feel like I want to have the choice to tip, whether if I think the server was good or whether the food was good or the drinks. Like I feel like I would still have the choice. But as a waitress and a bar staff myself, I would think that it would be a nice gratitude if someone did tip or anything. Again, it's still optional, but I just think when you're in that area, in that restaurant or bar, like of course they're being paid to do their job, but also like they're being paid to do like something to make sure the customers are happy. Like they're putting aside like all their negative stuff and is just trying to do what needs to be done. And service charge, I think, is optional as well. Like from where I work, like I think we only do it for like big parties and stuff because we're putting all our best stuff in it, like best drinks, best workers. So I think because we're giving them our best, it would be nice if we ask for them to give something in return, like a bit more than what they're just paying for food and drinks. But yeah, I think it still should be optional, like whether you give a tip or not. But I think just maybe think about giving it a little tip, even if it's small, because it would mean a lot to show your gratitude. Because everything you guys just said is completely what I agree. But yeah.
And for me, I definitely agree with Emily's points. Like I agree also with Ellie's and Grace's, but I think I'm leaning more towards it should be optional because like with the UK system, it's very different to the US system. With the UK one, the minimum wage um for a hospitality worker is not a big difference compared to like a retail worker or like a sales worker. So it's not like a big difference where they need that money. Like I feel like it should be optional where for the customer they might not be able to provide the additional money. So everyone has different situations, like you all said. So I definitely think it should be optional. And in terms of service charge, to be honest, for me personally, I wouldn't really ask them to remove unless it's like a really crazy amount. Like I know they do like a certain percentage, they'll be like 5 to 10% of the bill. If it's like really like crazy numbers, then I'll be like, please remove that. But if it's, or maybe I might reduce it, but I don't think I would remove it. But then I think they should also ask the optional, instead of putting that onto the bill, maybe they should be like, do you want to add the service charge? I feel like that they should go with that sort of like option because sometimes I do get shocked. I'm like, where does this extra money come from? And then I'm like, oh yeah, from the service charge. So I feel like they should just ask like, do you want to add it on? But yeah, overall, I think that tipping in the UK is like an optional thing. I guess it is a appreciation, like showing your appreciation of like, thank you for helping me out with like serving me. But in terms of the US system, I know that the minimum wage is very, very low. So they kind of do depend on people's tips to like make sure that they're quite like functioning or like stable enough to go about their day. So if I was in America, then I would tip, but I don't know how much percent I would give, or like because I've seen like videos where someone gives like a certain amount and they're not very happy with it, and I'm like, then how much do you actually need? So that's like another topic. But yeah, I think in the UK, it should be optional. So yeah.
And I like what you said about it being like, like maybe coming up with like the card reader, like, if you're paying by
Hmm.
card or something, like it comes up and it's
Yeah.
like, do you want to, pay the service charge?
Yeah.
Because they do that for like the tips, right? There's
Yeah.
like the little, like sometimes I haven't seen it recently, but I'm pretty sure like before, like there used to be like a little option, do you want to tip? And then you have to pay afterwards. So like
Yeah.
something like that. But I know everybody doesn't really pay by card, but most people do. So,
Mm.
like,
Yeah, like in McDonald's, they always like, do you want to round up your like figure to like 5p extra or 10p
yeah.
extra just to like help out with like donation stuff. I think they should do something like that,
Yeah.
something very similar.
But then how many people will actually say yes? Like, I feel like if people have the option, they would say
Yeah.
no.
Mm.
At least it does give that option for the people
True.
who would
Yeah.
want to do that. And then it just
Yeah.
it's better than no one. You know, there will be one or two people that will hit yes and
Yeah.
add to that.
Yeah, true.
So I guess we all concluded with our seminar.
Yeah.
Conclusion.
As expected.
Nice. Well, let us know what you guys think. Leave a comment down below. Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And see you guys for more debate. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.